right. We're just going to start the show by saying half the country's retarded and have a great night. We'll talk to you later.
Why is half the country retarded? What are we hearing?
Dude, did you watch any of that vice presidential debate last night?
No.
All right. One, J.D. Vance, I thought did a great job. But then other people that I talked to today, including a friend of ours, said, I think Walz actually won the debate last night. Now, I didn't hear that from anybody else, including CNN. But he said that he thought that Walz won. I don't see what the hell he was seeing. But that's
didn't Walz get caught? And again, I'm not even making this up. I truly don't know. I watched none of it. But didn't Walz get caught in a stolen valor thing over Tiananmen Square?
Yeah, he said that he was there. Like he literally lied and got caught numerous times on different things. The guy looked scared. I mean, he's a slimy piece of shit, to be honest with you. And I mean, but the thing about this debate that I actually liked a little bit better than the Trump-Harris one is that they were at least cordial toward each other. I mean, they were actually shook hands. They, agreed on some points and obviously disagreed a lot on some of the other ones.
Sure.
But Walz is a liar, and he's a communist and a Maoist. And, I wish a lot of that was actually brought forth a little bit more than it was. I mean, if you actually dig into the history of that guy, you would understand what he's all about. And, we know why the media doesn't do it. The media wants to cover this guy and cover Harris as much as they could possibly do it. And it's sad. I mean, there's one clip, maybe it would be easy to find. I don't know. Trump was Trump. The rules of the debate were no fact-checking.
Okay.
The moderators could not just start throwing out stuff and doing fact-checking on the fly like they were doing during the ABC debate. And, of course, these two broads decided they were going to fact-check J.D. Vance.
Of course they was.
In the middle of the fucking debate. And, he called them out on it, though.
Okay.
And, that might be the clip that is the most widely heard today. Is J.D. Vance calling out these people for, the fact-checking.
Let's see.
And it was, what?
This might be it. I'll pull it. This is the first I'm seeing any of this. Tim Walz, I just see his face, and I just want to punch it.
Yeah, people said he looked like Don Rickles.
That's true.
Which I kind of see. I kind of see
He does
that.
have a Rickles kind of a face.
Yeah.
But he's punchable.
He is punchable.
Let's hear is this it? The fact check on immigration?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
And then he cut his mic.
Let's hear.
Just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status, temporary protected status.
Well, Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important
we're
because
going to turn out of the economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
the rules were that you guys weren't going to
we're-
fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. So there's an application called the CBP One app, where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand. That is not a person coming in, applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That is the facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by our own leadership.
Thank you, Senator, for describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
Those laws have been on the books since 1990.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The
we
CBP
want to have
One app has not been on the books since 1990. It's something that Kamala Harris created, Margaret.
Gentlemen, the audience can't hear you because your mics are cut. We have so much we want to get to. Thank you for
those fucking broads started fact checking.
3-on-1?
Yeah, it was. Now, don't get me wrong. I would like a 3-on-1 if it came to me and those two broads, but not in that particular way.
Right.
They were attacking him, and they started fact checking, which was against the debate rules that they set up. And he called them out on it. Good for him. I mean, J.D. Vance looked smooth last night. And honestly, I wish that was the guy running for president. and not the guy that we have. I mean, I love Trump. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to talk shit about Trump. I think I'm going to vote for him in a heartbeat. I did the last time. 2 times. But J.D. Vance is smooth, man. He looked good. He made Ohio look good.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, yeah, I was doing Chris Presents, and we were actually reviewing horror movies from the 80s, which was probably infinitely more entertaining.
Oh, I'm sure it was. I wish I would have known that because I would have switched over to that.
Yeah, it was actually pretty fun. We were just playing nonstop trailers from horror movies from the 80s, and both Eric and I decided that we are going to watch a horror movie a day for the entire month of October.
This thing's on, right?
What's on? Microphone?
Yeah, we're on
There's
Rumble and
no
everything?
comments? Yeah, we're on everything.
Okay,
Whatever.
second.
I don't give a shit if there's a comment for you. That's your good friend Matthew.
I wanted to see a comment. That's what I get. JD Vance talking about welfare. GI Bill. Programs are part of his life. I can't respond to that.
I didn't hear the debate, so I don't
I'm
give a
too
shit.
tired. I watched most of it. I was kind of not watching stuff. But Matthew bored me. I didn't want to read the entire comment. It was just boring. I did see your boy Walz get caught in numerous lies and blatant lies. But, whatever.
Well, the one thing I heard was the Tiananmen Square, and I was like, man, if you're stealing valor, I don't even give a shit what the other guy's doing. You are the biggest piece of shit, and you should be drowned. Fuck him. Stolen valor is about as bad as it gets. Literally taking something somebody else did in your name. Fuck him. I hope he dies in a fire. And I've been in a fire. I know what that feels like.
Walz wouldn't win 3 votes in any competition.
Walz. Get the fuck out of here.
The guy was, the governor of a shit state like Minnesota. Go live there.
Well, here's the thing. On whatever side it's going to be, and I'm hopeful that people stick to this. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Harris-Walz win, which I don't want that, but let's say that is the case.
Yeah.
Every conservative in this country needs to hold the line to every fucking thing that they do the way Trump was held to the line when he was the president. We all kind of got lazy and let go on Biden because he was a retarded buffoon.
Right.
And everybody was afraid to say, this guy's a retarded buffoon up until the last 4 or 5 months. And they let him go, and he wrecked the country. This allegedly brilliant mind of this Kamala Harris and this brilliance of Walz, we need to hold them to every fucking thing that they do. Everything. And some things are going to be good and some things are going to be bad. I hate to say it, but I don't know if you saw this or not, but I actually commented against Bob France today on Bob's page.
Why?
He was talking about the whole thing about the ports.
Yeah.
The $69 an hour.
Okay.
And in my head, I'm like, you know what? We ought to just pay it.
Why?
Why? Because 2 reasons. Number one, it's going to be cheaper than fighting it. It's going to be cheaper than fighting it. And by what I mean by that is this is a snowball from hell rolling down the mountain right now. If we leave these guys on strike, we think inflation is bad now. Everything is going to go up tenfold. You're not going to be able to get in steel for manufacturing or wood for manufacturing or nails or cars or clothes for retail or anything that comes in from out of this country, which we have graciously allowed everybody to take out of the country, NAFTA and all that other shit. I understand, and this is kind of the second point, I understand the second part of somebody needs to be to blame, and I do agree with that. Somebody should be held to blame. But right now, we don't need to be placing blame. We need to be fixing a fucked up problem and not worrying about the blame today. Today, we pay these guys $70 an hour. We get everything running. Things are going to go up a little bit in price. If we let them hold out, we are not going to get any goods. None.
The one thing, I'm happy that it's happening under the Harris administration.
I am too.
2, The problem that I have with it is because I think that unions are a good thing in some ways, because I do think that there should be protection for workers and that kind of thing, and I think that unions can be good. But where I agree with Bob is that this fucking guy, this union president for longshoremen, is a piece of shit. He's a bully, and he is.
He is.
I mean, dude,
it's his job.
Whoa, it's nobody's job to give you a 77% pay raise, Chris.
No, I understand that. Okay, but
I can't go to my job and ask for a 50% pay raise.
And I get
what
that.
They were offering.
And I get that, but hold on.
77% pay raise is what this guy is demanding.
Okay, well, let me counter that.
This guy's the mafia, dude. This guy is the mafia.
No, he's a member of the mafia, and I'll tell you why.
He's the head of it.
No, he's not. He's the leader of a small family. The big family is the government. The government that has, for the last 30 years, allowed all manufacturing to leave this country, come back in with no penalty. We're buying goods and services. We're making everybody else rich. And this guy is finally stepping up and saying, I want mine too. My guys want their piece of it too. Everybody else is getting rich off of goods being made in Japan and made in Vietnam and made in China and coming in with no penalty. This is why, and honestly, believe it or not, I know you're thinking I'm being a radical leftist that should be at Mike Chiselka's family reunion. I get that, but the way this is playing out is such that if we don't cave a little bit on this and just keep the economy running, we're dead. We're dead. The economy is so close to being broken now that we got to keep everything moving. That's the first thing. Second thing, what I'm saying here is actually pro Donald Trump.
I agree because
Trump
put tariffs on it,
and Trump said point blank, if you leave this country, I'm going to tariff you 200%.
Exactly.
Keep the jobs here. This thing that's going on with the longshoremen or the dock workers or whatever is 1,000% a product of, from the day NAFTA was signed until now, letting the manufacturing leave this country. Look, it's all come to a head now.
I'm not disagreeing with you to an extent, but I also am saying that we're not talking about a doctor here that's going to save your life. And with overtime, you're talking about these companies having to pay $100 an hour for some guy that is an unskilled worker driving a tow motor and unloading cargo containers.
Okay,
dude. I ran a tow motor and unloaded tows and everything else, and I was making minimum fucking wage at a warehouse over in Solon. I understand what they do is a necessity. I get that, but it's an unskilled, to an extent, worker who's being run by a mafia guy for the most part, demanding more than 75% more of the wage.
What is the number one most feared way of a nuclear attack coming into this country? Nuclear weapon, a suitcase bomb.
A cargo ship?
Through cargo. And radiation and all that stuff. These guys, you're saying it like these guys are $10 an hour guys, and they're not. They're putting their life on the line every day. And again, I'm not saying that they should get $70 an hour. I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying they deserve $70 an hour. I'm saying if we don't give it to them, we're so much more fucked. Paying these guys $70 an hour is going to be an increase of, we'll say, $100 million a year, okay? In government cost, $100 million a year. Not paying these guys $70 an hour is going to raise every price that is already too high by another 50%. What is the value of every dollar spent in this country times 50%? It's more than $100 million. At some point, we got to fix the problem in front of us instead of looking at the reason why we have it. We just have to accept our government fucked us, and this is the ass fucking we have to take back in order to get it. And let's not even forget the fact that all of this could be paid 100% if cocksucking Biden hadn't given all our money to the Ukraine.
Totally agree with you.
We could pay these guys $170 an hour.
And I hope that these dumb union bastards, and I hate to say that because I respected a lot of those workers, and a lot of them have gone over to the Trump side of things. But for the most part, these union guys are dedicated liberal Democrats. And I hope that they see what their liberal Democrat presidents, because I call them presidents because Biden ain't doing shit. Harris is running this mess as it is. I hope they see what they're doing and destroying what they're working for. And, maybe make a different choice in November. Because what they have right now ain't working. Is it, Matthew?
Well, dude, don't you think that the reason they're bringing this up now is because they're not sure that Harris isn't going to win? So they're bringing this out now because they know Trump will shut them down cold. Trump will absolutely say, you're all fucking fired. We're bringing a bunch of new guys.
I beg to differ. I don't think Trump would do that. I think Trump has respect for unions. He's used unions in the past.
Well, he'll do it.
I mean, the guy's a real estate guy.
He'll do what he's got to do to keep the economy running, is what I'm saying. Trump will not let the economy be shut down based on a wage complaint.
No, but what I do think that he would do is I think he would step in as a negotiator that he is.
Probably would.
And step in and try to find a solution to the problem. I don't think Harris is smart enough to know that there is a problem. No. I think she thinks longshoremen are fishermen.
Probably true. But didn't I already see that somebody like Walz or one of them is already like, yeah, give them the money?
I don't know. I didn't see that.
I think I saw that already today. You know, I mean, dude, it's a bad situation. I think we can all agree on that. It is a bad situation, and there's not a clear-cut answer.
What pisses me off is I thought like after COVID is over that I wouldn't have a problem getting toilet paper. Now apparently I am. Because I'm being told that like Costco and stuff like that are all running out of fucking toilet paper. For whatever reason, when there's some sort of a weird thing going on, people run out and buy toilet paper.
Yeah, it's dumb. Buy food. Stop the toilet paper.
Yeah, you can wipe your ass with other things. I mean, use a towel, wash it. I don't care what you do, but
that's right.
Quit buying all the toilet paper.
Yeah, enough with this shit.
Can't we make toilet paper here?
You'd think so.
He says toilet paper is made here in the USA. Well, then why are they saying that Costco and all those places are running out of toilet paper?
Sounds like a new business for Dunder Mifflin.
Yeah. Kane is lighting up the testing window today.
Look at him. I guess so.
That's what we should do. We should get the text thing here sponsored.
Oh. We should get anything sponsored. Who are we talking about?
That would be great. But we read a bunch of the texts and put them up on the screen. If we had it, saying brought to you by.
Hey, it's the Kia Ford texts. Messaging by Tim Misney.
If you have a company that wants to advertise the text window, do so. Get a hold of us.
Are we not on Rumble? What the hell?
No stream today. Greg Mack is asking.
Well, let me see what's going on Rumble. I don't know. Let's Tantric. Save the changes. All right, we should be on Rumble in a minute. All right. I don't know what happened. I just reset it.
Well, Brian says,
let me know.
Show isn't working on Rumble.
There. If everybody just lets me know in a minute, if it comes on Rumble, then you'll know. I had it set up. I know I did.
Man. I was wondering why we weren't getting texts. See?
Because we suck. Hopefully it'll start working here in a second. I hope.
Charmin is made in the USA.
Okay.
But it does say from imported materials.
Which so who's ready to spend? There it goes. It just kicked on Rumble. I think. Sorry, folks. Yeah, there we are. We're on Rumble now. Sorry, people.
Oh,
I
my God.
apologize.
Now all tens of listeners that we have
Are all texting you
all texting.
because they want to see Tantric.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Tantric.
I am too.
I was telling you before, though. I mean, they're not listening now, are they?
They might be.
Oh.
They might be.
I'm a big fan of the music.
Sure.
I just wish I was smarter, dude. Like, I I don't pay attention to a lot of stuff.
Sure.
Like, I'm just not, like, I don't know if it comes from, like, lack of caring or what it is. But, like, when I was on MMS, dude, I was, in all these perceptual studies that they had back in the day, they had these companies come in and say, blah, 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 blah. This is how, what's working on the station, what's not working on the station.
Right.
Oh, Seth the Barbarian, blah, blah, blah. Great. Number one jock that we had at a couple of different times during my run on that station. And I just faked my way through it, dude. Like, I remember getting a call when Dimebag Darrell died.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're like, all right, Seth, we need you to go up to the station. You're going to run a bunch of Pantera music, and you're going to talk about Dimebag and him dying and everything else. And I don't think there was, like, internet like it is today.
Sure.
And so I'm like, all right. I think I threw up 3 times on the way to the station because I didn't know what the fuck I was going to say. But I was like your resident guy. Hey, metal music, get up there. What? Who knows what? I mean, I know when people are coming to town for concerts.
You know what to read when they hand it to you to read.
I know Dimebag was in the band. For all I know, he played kazoo, dude. Like, I was sitting there, what?
But you know what the funny thing is, dude, is a lot of the other people did the same thing. Like, and specifically when Dimebag died. When Dimebag died, Rover, I was on 92 at the time, and so was Rover, and Rover called me. And we're like, can you come on and do 15 minutes about Dimebag? And I was like, yeah. And at the time I had an MP3 of the talk that I had with Dimebag. So I emailed them the MP3, and they had to quickly go back through and edit it, edit through it. But because it had a lot of cussing in it. But they played that, and they had me on for 10 or 15 minutes talking about Dimebag being killed. And boy, that was not fun, because I was a mess, because I was friendly with Dime. And it was like, ooh.
I mean, I knew enough on that one, at least, that I sounded okay.
Sure.
But it was a lot of times on that station, man, it was, okay, dear God, the album is called what now?
So you're a band, right?
Yeah, so we're talking to a band that plays music, generally on this radio station.
You're in the Goo Dolls? Oh, the Goo Goo Dolls. That's right.
And,
2 goos.
Like, I remember I've told you the story about me wearing a Metallica shirt to introduce Dave Mustaine.
Megadeth, yeah.
And so I'm walking in, and, like, the lady's like, you're going to have to zip up your coat. I'm like, what the fuck do I need to zip up my coat for? Not real. I mean, what? I have a Metallica shirt on. So what? They're a cool band, right?
Not to this crowd.
And so I had to be explained a lot of things back in the day.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to talking to Tantric, though.
Yeah, this will be fun.
Tony Musachio is going to come on today as well.
And we have some Dawg Pound Details.
What the fuck is Jon Drake going to say about the Browns?
5
They are the
minutes
worst
if they
team
stink.
in the NFL. Is that what he's
They're
going to say?
not the worst team in the NFL.
Name another team that's worse than... They are the Kamala Harris and Tim Walz of the NFL.
Not that bad.
They are that bad.
They're not that bad. They're not drinking horse cock or whatever. Not yet.
I saw a meme today.
I was thinking about that today, and I don't know why.
Horsecock?
Yes.
Wow.
I was like, how does... it just popped into my head. Does Kamala and Walz have to have a conversation where they have to say that he was accused of drinking horse cum? Do they sit around a meeting desk and talk about this? Well, there's a rumor out there, Tim, that you were drinking horse cum from a horse's dick. Is there truth to that?
I have like an image in my head now of like, it's the Oval Office.
That's what I mean.
Biden drooling in the corner, like some sort of small desk just hanging over drooling, and then Kamala asking, so did you actually drink the horse cum?
That's what I mean. Did they have to have a meeting about it? Do you? I mean, it was a big story for a minute. Do they talk to him about being Tampon Tim?
I would assume they have to have these.
They have to, right?
So you actually did. You did not go to anywhere overseas in combat, right? Like, what else did you lie about? Like, how many things do they have a checklist so we know which things he lied about?
Can you imagine being in that meeting? All right, Tim, we got to go over how you're going to answer for drinking horse cum. Let's go over some probable answers that'll work here, Tim.
And then I just hear Biden in the corner just putting his hand up, horse cum, as he's like mushing on some oatmeal or some shit.
Yeah, Biden just puts his head up. I wish the horse would come here. I wish he would. Fucking idiot.
Wouldn't the people taking horse dewormer be more likely to do that? You're such an idiot. Go do some research, Matthew. I'm sorry.
Why you let him get to you?
He doesn't, but I just wish he was more educated. That's all. I mean, like, I wish. Go listen to Rogan. He had a good answer on that. So go listen to some other show.
Well, hey, if Matthew doesn't want to take the ivermectin, which has now been proven to work, then that's on him.
That's fine. It doesn't matter.
It's fine. Don't take it. Leave more for me. If I ever get COVID again.
Don't go listen to another show. We need all the people we can get. Stupid or not, I prefer that you listen. I mean, let's be realistic. At this point, I'll take like a room full of mongoloids as long as they have the show on in the background.
In translation, Matthew can stay.
Good to see you, Gunner. Good to see you. I use ivermectin all the day. We give it to my dogs. So
that's good. It's good.
All the time, yes. I was going to correct your grammar, but I thought you... God. I'm just not in the mood today. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood to talk politics. I'm not in the mood. I got a poor guy, and I'm not going to mention his name, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been constantly texting me throughout the day today, and he's got some issues with drinking.
Okay.
And he really wants to stop. And so he's coming to me for advice and for help. I mean, look, I had my fair share of drinking days, and now I don't.
Right.
And so, he's coming to me for help, and I don't know what to tell him other than, there comes a point in your life where you just say, all right, I'm done. And when you hit that time, in my opinion, you just stop. I mean, and it sucks, and sometimes it's easier than others, but I don't know what to say to somebody. I quit smoking. I quit drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I know that there's people that I know that need all the meetings that they need, and
sure,
the AAs and the Smokers Anonymous and all this, what I consider, worthless. I think it comes down to you as a person saying to yourself, enough.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm not going to live my life like this anymore. And put it down. Put down the cigarettes and just stop. Put down the drinks.
And some people just can't. And you know what? I'm going to be as mean as I can be here, but sorry. Some people are meant to die from it.
I think that's pretty harsh.
Well, I'm going to give you an example. I was watching on Tubi yesterday something. It's like a TMZ sort of a documentary on Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
That dude went through 17 rehabs and all kinds of people interventions and everything else, and wrote a book about how not to fall for the pitfalls of drug use, and then died of a drug overdose.
Right. And
it's some people are meant to die from it.
Look, and I've known people that constantly are counting down the days, and there's I don't want to really mention any names, but I think we all know her. I mean, she's been having some problems, media celebrity here in town, and You know, she posts all the time about going through this recovery, going through that recovery, this,
Sure.
that, the other thing, and health problems, and one day at a time, and blah, blah, blah. And to me, I sit there and go, just fucking stop, dude.
Yeah, you're making it harder by keeping it in the front of your mind.
Right. I mean, look, there used to be a time in my life, way back when, where I would sit there and go, man, I cannot wait to get home and have a drink. Cannot wait. And now I just decided, okay, well, I need to stop this. It's stupid. There was a time where every half hour I was going outside to smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
One, it was a waste of my work day. And two, it was a waste of my life and money.
Yeah.
And so I decided, all right, I'm done. I'm putting it down. And then I don't think about it. There are times where you sit there and go, man, wish I could go outside and have a smoke right now. But then I just say, but what's the point? It was stupid and costly and unhealthy and smelly and awful. I mean, it was just, the whole thing was bad. And so I just said, I'm done. I'm not going to do it anymore. And that's what I'm trying to tell this guy is that just, I know how tough it is. I mean, it's not easy. But I don't want to hear about everybody's.
But if he's reaching to you, if he's, and again, I'm going to be the harsh asshole in this. Sorry. If he's reaching to you, he's not ready to quit yet.
Well,
he's waiting for someone else to tell him that he should be ready to quit. He's not. Look, I've been through the walk of hell. So have you. And when you got, and tell me if I'm wrong on this, because I know I went through this with the burn shit. When you lost your leg, there was a time early on where you're like, I'm never getting out of this fucking wheelchair. This is it. I'm just going to fuck it. I don't care. This is how it's going to be. And then at some point, you convinced yourself to get up. And it wasn't because your dad told you or your wife told you or your friends told you. It's because there was a part of you that told you it's time to get the fuck up. Right? And your mic went away. God damn it. Your mic, your internet, everything. Reconnect, Sethro. Looks like I might be interviewing Tantric myself if they show up. God damn it. I don't know what's going on. Seth's internet went to shit. Reconnect. I'll help you reconnect. I don't know what's going on with his situation, but it is not connected. So let's do what we always do. Let's take a break, and we'll see if we can't get Seth back here in a minute. So hang tight.
Oh,
there you are. Your internet went to shit, too. What the hell?
Like, nothing happened. I was still hearing you and everything. Oh. Nothing happened on my computer. Everything was fine.
You're back.
But there is something going on here.
Yeah. Well, let's play a spot. You reconnect.
Okay. I mean, I'm reconnected, but I will. Yeah. All right.
And we still don't have our guest either, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. This one of them shows. It's one of them shows. We'll be back in a minute. Hang out, folks.
There's plenty of places to experience the Seth Williams Show, but if you want all the content, you need to join us on Minds. Get all the live episodes of the show every Monday and Wednesday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Get the special bonus footage every Wednesday from 5:30 to 6 p.m. Get bonus content from Seth and Chris as it's produced. It's only $4.99 per month, so don't wait. Sign up today. Visit us at www.minds.com/Seth Williams Show.
All right, well, Seth is still gone, so I'm going to play another spot. Hang out.
The biggest and the best heavy metal radio station is CMS Network Now. With over 5,000 heavy metal songs from all the subgenres and eras of metal, it ranges far more than almost any station broadcasting today. You can also listen to great radio shows like Charlie Kendall's Metal Shop, the shows of the CMS Network, and even the full episodes of the Classic Metal Show with the music. Visit CMS Network now at www.cmsradio.net or on the CMS Network app in both the iOS or Android stores. There's no need to listen anywhere else for the best heavy metal ever created.
Hello. We're here. We're back.
I have two different internet connections in my house.
Okay.
Because for whatever reason, this fucking cable company that I've been dealing with forever, because I can't get a new one, decided that they were going to split the connection in my house.
Oh, that's good.
And so there's two different ones, two different Wi-Fis in my house.
Oh, good.
So I just switched to another one. We'll see how that one works.
All right. Is one 2.4 and the other 5G?
I have no idea what it is. What the hell? How do I check that?
Well,
The hell do I know?
mine I'll say 224 and 5G.
They just split it. I have nothing
Yeah,
else on in this house either. Like literally, there's nothing else on.
Well, your daughter's downstairs playing with her iPad or something, I'm sure.
Well, now I'm switched to a different Wi-Fi in the same house. And so the amount of money that I pay for shit not to work here is just beyond me.
Well, and speaking of shit not working, it's we're 10 minutes late on Hugo.
Yeah. Well, then I'm not gonna like the band anymore. So, like, I paid $300 just for cable and internet alone here.
Which
Cable
is
and internet alone.
insanity.
Then I paid for Disney, Netflix, Hulu, Paramount, Amazon Prime, HBO Max.
Jesus, dude, why are you
And-
buying so much shit?
Peacock. I think that's all that I have.
Why are you paying for all that?
So on top of the $300 a month that I have for this stupid ass cable where the internet doesn't work, I have 7 different streaming things that I could think of just right off the top of my head.
Why don't you cancel all that shit and just go with Tubi and Pluto or that stuff?
I can't watch that kind of stuff. I like having my HBO Max. I watch South Park at night with my HBO Max when I go to bed. I have HBO Prime for documentaries and, of course, for shopping. Peacock, I watch for the wrestling and then some NFL stuff. I also get Prime for NFL stuff. Then I have the Hulu. I don't know. I never watch Hulu. I don't know why I have that. And Disney, I have to watch, like, Disney films. I like my Disney stuff.
Well,
John says, get that man some fiber. I don't have to take shit, dude.
I'm not telling you what to do, Seth.
Yeah.
Certainly not telling you to do anything. But that's $349.
What is that? I don't even, what is it?
That is the VC3, VC Pro version 3. That's the brandiest, newest one.
What does it do?
It gives you 1,900 channels. It gives you every movie, every TV show on demand.
Is it legal?
Well, it's on Amazon. I'm showing you the Amazon page. I wouldn't suggest running without a VPN personally, but
What does that mean?
it's a little $4 piece of software that you put $4 a month piece of software that you put on this thing, and then the cable company can't see what you are or are not streaming.
Ah, right.
Again, not saying you should buy this thing. Not saying that I have one. But it works goddamn well.
But it's an option on Amazon, is what you're saying.
It is an option. You don't have to jailbreak this thing or anything. You just plug it in, install the apps that are right there on the home screen, and it works.
Does that V3 Pro ever crash?
No. Well, I don't have a V3. I have a V2.
What happened to damn guest, dude?
I don't know. I don't know. I texted the publicist. I'm waiting to see. Let's see.
That's all right. I wasn't all that prepared anyways.
Oh, I gotta
didn't say that.
I gotta hang tight, so we'll hang tight on that. Want to go with Dawg Pound Details?
Yeah, never forget, Tony Musachio is calling in at 5:15, so hopefully this guy calls soon.
Yeah, well, let's let me go to brand here. Let's go with the Dawg Pound Details.
Dawg Pound Details, telling you how bad the Browns suck.
Yeah, since we're
Right,
talking
John?
since we're talking about all uplifting stuff today, let's talk about the Browns. Here we go.
Thanks, John.
What's up, everybody? Jon Drake here with another depressing edition of the Dawg Pound Details. Unfortunately, we are talking about another loss. The first quarter of the season, almost, is in the books, and with a schedule that looked like, before the season started, we could easily and should have been 3-1. The Cleveland Browns instead stand at 1-3. Another inexcusable loss to just a garbage team. I don't know. I don't know what to say. This offensive line is on skates. I am aware that we have injuries, but I did not think that losing Bill Callahan as your offensive line coach would have this big of an effect. It's a joke out there. They can't block anybody. They can't protect Deshaun Watson. The run game can't get anything going. It's just a horrible state of affairs. This week, you may be getting Jed Wills and Jack Conklin back. We'll see what happens if they can actually get their starting five together. Hopefully that will do some good. You're looking at getting David Njoku back potentially this week. If not, then probably the week after. Nick Chubb starts practicing this week, so you'll have him in a few weeks. But there just seems to be something off with this team. Something is broken in that locker room, because this is basically the same team that you had last year that went 11-6 and made the playoffs, and this does not feel the same. There is something going on that we are not privy to, because it just feels off. I don't know if it's, like we were talking about before, that these guys just don't want to play for Deshaun Watson. Some of them just don't like him because of all the off the field stuff. I don't know if that's it. If it's the Ken Dorsey effect. I mean, that guy, like we said before, he couldn't get the job done with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. So, what's he going to do here? So I don't know what it is, but something is definitely off. Something is broken, and they need to fix it real quick, because at this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm the only one eating crickets in this bet, because it's looking really, really bad. I mean, this first part of the schedule, you were supposed to be able to stack some wins and, really kind of get some good ground in the AFC under your belt. And instead, it's quite the opposite. You're one of the bottom feeders of the NFL, unfortunately, and it just doesn't look good. The defense, I don't know what's going on there. They cannot tackle anyone. It's ridiculous. It's, they only gave up 20 points, which is fine. But with tackling and stuff, it would have been less than that. And you'd be in this game, and I don't know. There's just so many depressing things about this damn team right now. It's infuriating. I really want to know what's going on behind the scenes, because, like I said, something is messed up. If there's a positive, it doesn't show in the final stat line, but Deshaun Watson is looking better. It's again, the stats don't really show that out, but Amari Cooper had another major drop. That's the only reason he had an interception. That complete horseshit holding call that canceled out an 82-yard touchdown. I mean, that right there. I mean, just those two plays. Let's take those two plays for example. If Cooper catches that ball, and on the long touchdown, they don't get called for holding, you're looking at, instead of 176 yards or whatever he threw for, and one touchdown, one interception, whatever the heck it was, you're looking at almost 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. That's a damn good game. So, but it would figure Cleveland Browns luck. As soon as the guy who can't play quarterback starts playing quarterback well, the whole rest of the team goes in the shitter. So that's just beautiful. Yeah, just hoping that maybe this was preseason. They're getting their legs under them. I just don't see a lot of things to hang your hat on and have hope for the future of this team. I mean, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if you're looking at a 4 or 5 win team. So I hate saying that, but I don't see anything that's telling me any different, unless all of a sudden players getting healthy is going to make the biggest difference we've ever seen. I just don't see it. So, well, now we get to go to Washington this week, which, during the offseason, that looked like an easy game, but no, Jaden Daniels is absolutely killing everyone and everything. So probably another loss this week. So, hey, as always, guys, go Guards. Let's make some noise in the playoffs and do some damage and keep this awesome run going. And as always, everybody, go Browns.
This is correct. What? Watson looks better? Yes, for an undrafted free agent, not a $60 million man. Has John lost his mind? He's like, it's the same players. What's wrong? What's wrong is they don't have a damn quarterback. They had Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco went out and won Indianapolis a game over the weekend.
He did.
They don't have a quarterback who can throw a damn football.
Well,
look better.
He looks
like a
bad.
drunk
He
guy
did. John's right in saying if you don't have the one holding penalty, which was iffy at very best, it's a 280-yard game because that was an 87-yard touchdown or whatever. So that one pass is a difference of 80 yards. So there is that. He's technically right on that. I think he's more right on the fact that these guys are not playing for this dick.
No, they're not.
They're tired of being asked questions about this guy getting his dick sucked, and they just want to concentrate on football, and they can't. And they put up with it for 2 years, but now they're just done with it because he didn't come out and start throwing for 400 yards a game. And I think that's really a big part of the problem right now.
Going back to our conversation with Bob on Monday, I think that part of the problem is I think the Browns are like a DEI hire, dude. I mean, every quarterback they have is black. For some reason, they don't want a white guy there. And none of the quarterbacks – okay, I'm talking about now. And none of the quarterbacks that they have on this roster are any good at all. I mean, you and I would be better out there behind center. At least we might be able to throw the ball. These guys are fools. I don't know what the hell they're doing back there with the quarterback situation. I mean, I'd get rid of him today. I'd eat that money, toss him out the window of the Browns training facility. Get him out. Throw him out.
They're not going to do that. The Haslams cannot fucking eat their balls like that. They just won't. They're billionaires. Billionaires don't take looking that bad well. There's no way that happens.
I would tank the rest of this year. I'd cut Watson, get rid of all that, and eat all that money. Forget about it. Eat all of it, and get yourself a first-round draft pick quarterback in here that actually knows how to throw the ball, and go from there. I mean, this team is ridiculously bad.
My target is six wins.
I said it earlier.
At 6 wins, you're both eating crickets.
I said it earlier. I'll say it again because I don't think anybody heard this because we weren't on Rumble. This is the Harris-Walz of football. That's what it is. They are so fucking bad that it's insane.
Are the Browns drinking the horse cum? Is that what's going on?
Which first round QB would you like and why? So, I don't know. I would take anybody that's throwing the ball for Ohio State on this team.
Let's not get carried away here.
What are you talking about?
You're also the guy that said Bo Nix was going to be something, and he threw for like 60 yards last week.
I'd take the quarterback for Georgia. I would take the quarterback for Alabama. And I didn't even like him at the beginning of the year. I would take him over these fools. Give us your football. I just gave you my football wisdom, you dick.
Yeah,
and I would take Will Howard over Deshaun Watson. Hell yeah, I would.
Would you take Russell Wilson over Deshaun Watson?
I would take my mother, and she's been gone for 20 years, over Deshaun Watson.
Because I know Russell Wilson's available.
Natalie, yes, I thought Watson did better. People just like to complain. Complain about what? We haven't won a goddamn game. All right,
well, he's not the only player on the field.
Him.
He's not the only player on the field. Why are we not hammering Amari Cooper, who's dropped, 6 balls this year? Why aren't we hammering him?
Because he has a track record of actually being good.
So does Watson.
When? 10 years ago?
3 years ago. Or 4 years ago, whatever it was, when he had 5,000 yards passing.
Seth is up here just naming big-time schools. Well, of course, I'm naming big-time schools that have good records, that have good quarterbacks. They're better than ours.
What would you like him to name, John? The Zips quarterback?
Right. I'd like Kent State's quarterback, please.
Bowling Green's got that guy. He's outstanding.
Kent just scored, I think, 20 points in 4 games. I want that quarterback.
The Browns should replace Watson with? The guy from Kent State.
Bowling Green. There you go. How about that, John? Yeah. I want the Eastern Mississippi fucking quarterback.
Yeah, there you go. See, just throw out names. He won't know. I want Timothy Sims. That's who you should get, Timothy Sims. Just make up any name.
I watch more college football than this fucking fool watches these stupid.
Well, John doesn't watch any college football except for the Ohio State, and he doesn't watch any regular football except for the Browns.
I spent my entire weekend listening on radio and watching college football, and this guy's going to talk to me about watching quarterbacks. He's got rooting for Massage Watson out there, and he's going to talk to me about quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's a tough season for the Browns, but
I've got
my hopes up for 6 wins.
And you know what really pisses me off is listening to these fools on like talk radio in this town. Yeah. I'm trying so hard to give a little bit of credit to 92 because I think some of the guys on there sound good. Carmen is good.
Carmen's good.
Mom is whatever. I mean, he's okay. And I mean, Nick Wilson, good. I like. But for some reason, they're like trying out people to go alongside Nick Wilson. And like, I would take that job in a heartbeat because I'd be better than any of these idiots that they put on there with like all the speech.
You don't know enough about the games.
But I know enough to be at least entertaining. Let Nick Wilson talk about the stats, and I'll sit there and actually make something funny about the damn show. But
can I suggest one for you to listen to?
Please.
And I've absolutely gravitated to this. It's a podcast now, but it's 2 guys that are known in Cleveland sports. The Ray Guy and Rhoda Sportscast.
Okay, I know. I like those guys.
That is a damn good podcast because neither of those guys ass kiss.
Well, that's just what I was getting at is that I listen to 92 and 850 and stuff like that, and all they do is suck the fucking balls of the Browns because they play them on their station.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I mean, how about some real radio? Why don't you say the facts? Why don't you just tell us the fact that Deshaun Watson is a terrible quarterback and that most likely is terrible because he's not getting blown anymore. And so he's just not as good as he was. Why don't you talk about the fact that he is an alleged criminal and that maybe that's in the back of his mind that he could probably go to jail if convicted. Forget about football. If he's convicted of raping a woman, he's going to not see the light of day for a while. And maybe that's in the back of his mind, and maybe that's why he sucks at football now. How about that?
They can't do that.
They are just so far up the asshole of the Browns that it makes for bad radio.
But you don't think that comes from management? I don't know that it's those guys. They just have to play the game.
All right, well, if Rhoda's a liberal, I'm not listening to that show.
Please. If you're not going to listen to anything, you might as well just sell your TV and your radio. If you're not going to listen to any liberals, because they're all fucking liberal douchebags, but they don't talk about it on that podcast.
Here's the deal. If they're not talking about it on the podcast, they're talking about sports, which is what I'm tuning in to hear, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah, there's no political talk on that show. It's just sports.
That's what I was talking to my daughter about the other day. Was that I wish some of these musicians could do the same shit. Shut your fucking mouth when it comes to politics when you're on stage singing. I don't want to hear John Mellencamp or Roger Waters or whoever it is, Pink Floyd up there fucking talking about Kamala Harris.
Yeah,
or Bruce Springsteen talking about his political views. Get up there, sing the damn songs that I've been listening to since I was a kid, and I'll enjoy the concert. Start running your mouth, I'm going to leave and demand my money back.
John's just making shit up now.
Why? What do you put?
Ray Guy talks about why sports would be better if Trump would get out. He does not. I listen to that podcast every day.
John.
I listen to that podcast pretty much every day. It's pretty good. At least, like, because I have all the shows. Like, I'm going to be, if we're going to talk sports talk here for a minute, listening to Cleveland sports talk is infinitely better if you set them up as podcasts versus listening to them on the radio, because you don't have to hear any of the idiot callers. Like, they don't podcast the callers for the very most part. They just podcast, well, here we are. We're talking to this guy from The Athletic or this guy from Sports Illustrated or whoever. So you hear those things and you hear their conversations between each other about the games, but they cut out all the fucking, hey man, do you think we could talk Tom Brady into coming back? You know, they cut all that shit out of the podcast, which makes it listenable on some some level. Now, some of them are absolutely unlistenable, like Baskin and Phelps. That is, what is that, grandpa radio?
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Two old, out-of-touch douchebags, and Jeff Phelps, they'll be talking about something, and Jeff Phelps will be like, hasn't been since Leroy Kelly was. I'm like, Leroy Kelly? Who the fuck is listening that remembers Leroy Kelly? I mean, we know the name. I would consider an Ernest Biner comment relevant on that show because they go so old. It's just an old man show.
I do have a sports question I'm going to ask you.
Okay. Go ahead.
Since we're talking a little bit of sports. I mean, we're all over the place. I just don't feel like talking politics today.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
John, speaking of douchebags, Rhoda started a Kickstarter welcoming committee for illegal immigrants coming into our country. Well, at least he's giving them winning teams jerseys.
Why do I think John's drinking today?
All right, so Bob and I got into a fight on and off the air about this today.
Okay.
Or yesterday, actually. Pete Rose died.
Mm-hmm.
Hall of Fame, no Hall of Fame.
For me?
Yes.
He should have been in the Hall of Fame 35 years ago.
I totally agree. And Bob's big thing is, look, he was a cheater, and so cheating is against the rules, obviously, and so he signed a lifetime ban. He should never make it into the Hall of Fame.
Here's the problem I have with it, and I agree. You're held accountable for blah 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 blah, all that good shit. Why haven't they thrown Shohei Ohtani out the fucking league?
Right.
Oh, I know, because he makes money for the league now, and it's a different time where that guy is more important than Pete Rose was at his time. Pete Rose was already done as a player. I promise you this. If Pete Rose would have got busted 7-8 years earlier than he did, when he was still a hitting machine and he was still a major player in baseball, he wouldn't have been suspended. They threw him out because he was a manager, and they could set a precedent without hurting the game.
Well, and see, that's what bothered me about the conversation with Bob is that, like, look, the guy is one of the greatest hitters of all time. 17 All-Star games. I mean, the batting average is fantastic. His hits, come on. You're talking about one of the best hitters in the game of baseball, period.
Well, and I agree.
Look.
And the betting was when he was a manager, not a player.
And I'm the same. That's what I said. And I'm the same guy that honestly believes that Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame because Bonds was a fantastic player before he started using the steroid stuff. Now, look, and same thing with Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens was a fucking machine before the steroid era. Yeah. Now, somebody like Alex Rodriguez, somebody like Mark McGwire, who is like Mark McGwire changed completely. He was a different human after he started taking the steroids. So, I mean, guys like that, I don't think should be in there. But Pete Rose was a hell of a player, and for his accomplishments on the field, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree partially. I personally, I don't have a problem with the guys using steroids. I could give a shit. People forget how down baseball was at that time, and how when it was McGwire versus Sosa going for that record and everything, and they were hitting home runs against each other, everybody was watching baseball. It literally brought the game back.
They would cut into other shows.
Yeah.
And the guys would go up to bat.
That's what I mean. It brought the game back. Who gives a shit that they were using steroids? I wish they'd use steroids now. Make the game more interesting. The game is ruined now. This fucking Rob Manfred has completely ruined the game. Why is it that steroid guys are out of baseball, but now they're making the bases bigger and changing the rules of extra innings and putting clocks on these guys so all the pitchers are now getting hurt? They've ruined the game. Why aren't they thrown out for ruining the game? Rob Manfred has done way more damage to the integrity of baseball than Pete Rose ever would have or did.
Look,
and Pete Rose paid his price.
The integrity of halls of fame around around sports, who cares anymore? Lawrence Taylor's in there. Lawrence Taylor was a drug addict.
OJ's in there. OJ's in there.
Hey, come on. Ray Lewis is in there. I mean,
yeah. Ray Lewis is still propped up on TV all the time.
There are plenty of scumbag people that did a lot of bad things. And Bob said, well, Lawrence Taylor wasn't, suspended, but he was suspended.
He was suspended.
For 30 days by the NFL. So it wasn't like it was just an off-season habit this guy had. And if he would have got caught once again, a third time, he would have been kicked out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee they didn't want that guy kicked out of the game. Even if he tested positive, they weren't going to kick that guy out of the game.
I'm going to answer this because John's being a douche. I'm fine with steroids to increase scoring, but not fine with legal changes. I'm saying that what I'm saying, dummy, is that the integrity of the game is not a valid argument. There is no integrity to the game anymore. None. The minute that they started having designated hitters, the integrity of the game was gone. That's when the integrity of the game went, because all of a sudden, where all those old guys, the Ty Cobbs and the Tris Speakers and the Stan Musials of the world, how many more hits would those guys have had if they could have played on a team that DH'd and they didn't have to play the field? But they didn't. Ty Cobb was still having 200 hits a year, 15, 18 years into his career. And he was still out there playing in the field and diving for balls and getting hit by balls and pitches and everything else. Yeah,
John, you should know about getting hit by balls.
Yeah, on his chin.
Yeah.
Fucking the integrity was ruined back in 1976 when they brought in the DH.
If you actually look at it, the integrity of the game was ruined long before Babe Ruth was a fucking alcoholic and everything else. I mean, none of these guys are like saints.
No.
Pete Rose, look, as a manager, could have affected the outcome of games. And so the betting thing, I understand. I understand kicking him out of the game.
So don't let him in as a manager.
Don't let him as a manager. Let him in as a hitter and as a ball player. He was one of the best.
Not one of. He was the best. He had the most hits. That's what makes the argument so much more disgusting. It's not like he had 3,600 hits and he was top 5. It's not like he was just ahead of Stan Musial on that top 5 list. He had the most. He is the most prolific hitter in the history of the goddamn game. See, that's just, man. You know why he's saying that? Because he's seen me play baseball and he knows that even as a fat tub of shit, I could still hit a fucking baseball 450 feet.
God, man, he's on fire today.
He's drunk.
You don't know that. We can't.
I do know that. John's drunk.
Can't disparage.
I can disparage John. He's an asshole and he's drunk. I can disparage him.
Anybody know about greenies? Speed most players used in the 60s, 70s, 80s, in baseball until steroids came along.
Look, we can go on and on and on. Nobody took away Doc Ellis's no-hitter when he admitted that he did it while he was stoned out of his mind on PHP. Nobody's saying, well, that doesn't count now.
Well, and I asked Bob, are we going to not put Belichick and Brady in the Hall of Fame? And they had Spygate. They had
the football, the inflated
balls, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to let those guys in the Hall of Fame? They're going to be there.
Yeah, of course.
And those things affected games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the Pete Rose thing is stupid, and I think it's vindictive, and quite honestly, I think the reason that it's going on today is because Pete Rose told them to go fuck themselves initially.
Right.
He cowered like a bitch at the end. Like 2 years ago, he wrote that letter saying, oh, I'm so sorry, and blah, 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 because he wanted to get in. But the first 15 years, he was like 2 middle fingers in the air, motherfucker. I'm not apologizing for shit. And they were like, well, you made us look bad, so we're never going to let you in.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, oh, well, getting into the Hall of Fame after he's dead is, that's fine. Put him in because, but I wish he was alive to see it. I mean, that's part of what you do it for is, the accolades and the acknowledgement of your career. And
yeah, well, dude, they're never going to let him in. He's not going in. He's never going in. Ironic, though, that if you've ever been to Cooperstown, There's a bunch of his gear in there.
Oh, yeah, there is. Yeah.
You know, they've got the 4,000th hit, I believe, the 4,000th ball, and I think they have the 3,000th ball. And, you know, there's up-teen videos and pictures of the infamous Ray Fosse at home plate in the All-Star game where he ran him over and ended Fosse's career.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're happy to use Pete's image and likeness and memorabilia, but don't let him have a bust in there. Now, the Hall of Fame's a joke. The Baseball Hall of Fame, by not having Pete Rose in the Baseball Hall of Fame, it is exactly on par with this ridiculous hunk of shit that we got at the end of 9th Street. The fucking Rock Hall.
The Rock Hall, yeah.
Just a bastard of what it should be. Has nothing to do with what it was meant to be.
No, I don't know where it went wrong. I mean, did they run out of people to put in? I don't think so.
Dude, they have run out of people to put in. Are you seeing some of the names that are going in here the last couple of years?
Look, I understand what I'm saying. I think there's still rock bands that deserve to be in there over the, Missy Elliott's of the world and stuff like that. I don't think that those kind of people deserve to be in there. But I think there's still rock bands that haven't made it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that should be there.
Little band named Iron Maiden still not in there.
Should be there, right?
Yeah. I'm talking about the Baseball Hall of Fame now.
But I'm saying,
do you know would you like to know who got into the Hall of Fame, the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2024?
I mean, I think I kind of, go ahead.
Adrian Beltre.
Right.
Todd Helton, Joe Mauer, and Jim Leland. Stop it. Stop it. Todd Helton?
I know. It's pretty bad, dude.
Todd Helton was about a 275 hitter his career.
But
Joe Mauer was a career injured twin. He played DH half the time because he was always fucking hurt. Stop.
And what I'm saying is that I agree with you that the Rock Hall is the same way.
Oh, it's
putting
an
in
embarrassment.
shit bands, and when there are actually bands out there that deserve to be in there.
Yeah, I have no problem with legit. See, I don't like the name the Rock Hall. They should just name it to the Music Hall of Fame because that's what it is, or Popular Music Hall of Fame, whatever. But even that being said, Missy Elliott doesn't go into any Hall of Fame. Missy Elliott would barely go into the Missy Elliott Family Hall of Fame. I mean, let's be real. Name 3 Missy Elliott songs.
I couldn't.
Can you name one?
No.
That's my point. She didn't do anything to get into a rock and roll, hard rock, rap, any Hall of Fame. She's just not good enough. If we're going to get Missy Elliott in there, let's get Foxy Brown in there as well. Let's get Little Kim in there. They each had 1 or 2 hits as well.
Sexy Red. I can't wait till she
gets. Yeah, Sexy Red. She's going to turn Cleveland into Pound Town.
Can't wait to see that display.
I'd like to thank everyone.
Did we ever get a reason why the guest backed out on us today?
All I got was, ugh, I'll let management know. Because I canceled it. I got a, did he call in? I said no, and we're canceling.
I was looking forward to that.
Well, hang on to it. Maybe stuck in traffic or whatever excuse bands have.
Don't talk shit yet, is what you're saying?
Well, I don't know. I can if you want. I don't care. What are we gonna do? Not get Tantric on?
They're going on tour, dude. I was looking doing some research for that band.
Yeah. That's probably why we didn't get the interview, because you actually did research.
I did actually do research on a band for once. So now I was actually somewhat prepared for a band that we're having on, and I get screwed. Did you see how many members of that band have been?
Yeah.
He's the only one that was there since the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Was the lead singer that we were going to have on. Other than that, there's 35 fucking people that have been in that band.
Yeah, they're in that White Snake and LA Guns level of 400 guys in and out of the band.
So, by the way, none of which are going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, well, they're all as eligible as Missy Elliott,
I guess.
You know,
man. But that's slightly frustrating that happened.
Well, we don't know why. I'll just leave it as we don't know why. Here we go. Share this. Hold on.
You can see we did see your boyfriend walking in his home. Spend time with him. What was
lies and excuses.
Ready to go?
Let's go. Hall of Famer.
Take heat. Fuck these niggas up.
Yeah.
I'm out of town, thuggin' with my round. My coochie pink, my booty hole brown. Where the niggas? I'm looking for the hoes. Quit playing nigga, cause suck a bitch soul. Pound town, just left Pound town. Let my nigga, he just took a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga dick a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga eat me out.
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. Put her in there tomorrow.
I'd just like to say when I said my nigga eat me out, that was the lyric that got me into this building. What the hell? Pound Town.
The research was going to only ask about groupies. I was going to ask that question. Absolutely.
Of course.
I mean, that's a staple.
That's the trademark Seth question.
It is. But I had other things ready to go.
I just can't get over Pound Town. Every time that comes up, I can't believe that is popular music.
Well, it is. And that's where we've gone into society, though. And it goes back to the liberal, and I hate to talk politics again, but it goes back to the liberal fucking way of thinking that everything that you want to do, you can just go ahead and do now. Whether it goes to parades of whatever for the entire month of June with guys with dog collars on, dancing on stripper poles, and have drag queens reading to kids. And Pound Town's actually tame compared to some of the stuff we're teaching children. I mean, but it goes back to the liberal way of thinking. Whatever you like, whatever makes you feel good, go ahead and do it.
32 million views.
And that goes to show that we have lost our way with any kind of morals in this society. Any kind of morals.
Pound Town.
Do you disagree with it?
No, I don't disagree. Look, I've been the one that's been saying for months on the show, I think we're done.
Look,
we are doomed as a society. It's over.
My daughter will say to me,
absolutely over.
These bands back in the day sung about stuff like drugs and sex and stuff like that, but it wasn't like that. All right. Look, I understand that the world changes, the country changes, but did you hear that song? That's a popular song.
Yeah. She's singing about the color of her asshole and that her boyfriend's eating her pussy. That's what the song, I mean, and not in vague terms. In exact terms, that's what she's saying.
What is Tony holding?
Dog.
All right. We're talking about colors of assholes, and Tony Musachio is sitting there set up, ready to listen.
Bring him on.
Okay, let's bring on Tony Musachio. On that note, what color is yours, Tony?
I'm not going to tell you the color of my asshole because I can't see it.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, you assholes, you. So, guys, I'm here live in Springfield, Ohio. I'm having dinner. This is my dog. This is my dog, Silver. He's got diabetes. Listen to this one. 9 years old, diabetes, a heart problem. Just had an operation on his eyes. This dog is costing me so much money, I may send it to Springfield and let the Haitians eat it.
Man, that poor dog.
Say goodbye to the boys. It's really a cool dog.
It is a cool dog. And it's really cool that you take care of the dog the way that you do, because a lot of people with a dog that has that many issues would have put that dog down and said it's enough.
You're right.
It's really cool.
Well, guess what? Thanks to my wife. Otherwise, it would have been the alternative.
Yeah, well, I'm just thankful they don't do that to humans, because me being a diabetic, bad kidneys, and one leg, my wife would have put me down.
You would have been gone.
I would have been gone.
Triv would have put you down.
Triv would have put me down. My wife would have been in line to put the next shot in. There would have been a whole line of people just to put me under.
All right. It's been a while since I talked to you guys. The politicians are out. The debate happened last night. I got to tell you, I think J.D. Vance knocked it out of the ballpark yesterday.
So do I.
We're going to see what happens, though, guys. I mean, whether you're Republican or Democrat, hopefully this is a tight race and everyone counts it right. It's not going to be 2 for you, 1 for us, 2 for you, 1 for us when it comes to the polls.
Right.
So supposedly the Republicans and Democrats in the polls are an equal amount, and they count it over and over, and they double check it. So again, welcome to America.
Right.
And it's so funny though, Tony, like I know where you live, and in your area and in my area, you see a lot of Trump stuff. And then as soon as you cross over to like Brecksville, forget about it. It's Walz, Harris, everywhere. It's like a nonstop signs in the Brecksville area.
And you know what? It's interesting because you also have religion, and you know, again, it's like you look at the wealthy, and I'm not going to say the religion. You can figure it out. They are pro-Democrat, which is crazy. I mean, I just don't understand this. And again, you know what? I don't care whatever happens, and at the end of the day, economically, this country better change. I don't care where you at, whether you're poor, middle class, or wealthy. You're going to have a problem.
Look, I don't have a problem saying I know what you are, Tony, and you know you're half religion, anyways.
Yes,
but I don't understand a lot of the Jewish community that is backing the Democrat Liberal Party. I don't get it. I mean, it's obvious
and they always have, which is crazy.
But it is crazy that it's been that way for a very long time. But it's even crazier now when you have a Biden and Harris team that is openly against helping our allies in Israel.
Correct.
You have people like Ilhan Omar, who's friends with Tim Walz, and they're obviously anti-Israel, and yet they will continue to get the Jewish vote. And it doesn't make any sense to me.
And, you know, and I talked about this before. There's 8 billion people in the world. There's 17 million Jews. They run economically this entire world and global affairs.
Yes.
It's insane to even think of that. I mean, they're 0.02% of the population. They're in every industry there is. You name an industry, whether it be Hollywood, jewelry, furniture, finance. They are part of, and they always have been, because they help each other out.
And now when their own country, though, is being bombarded, I don't understand why they're not on the side of the Republicans. But
so meanwhile,
why do you think it is that way, though? Do you think it's fear, like losing their jobs because their jobs are Jewish owned, or I mean, what do you think it is?
What jobs? They own everything. You know what I mean? They own the industry. It's not.
I mean the people around town. Yeah. I'm talking more of the people around town that are leaning, you know, that are middle class or lower class, but are leaning toward Walz and Harris.
You know what? I don't know what the answer to that is, Chris. I really don't.
I'll give you a theory.
Go ahead.
I'll give you a theory because of what you said, that a lot of the Jewish communities are run by, you know, they have the money and the wealth. And people are confused when they hear Democrat and Republican. They think the Republicans are the one to control the money. It's just not true. Most of the wealthiest people in the country, like George Soros and those, they're all to the left. They are all to the left. The money is really controlled in this country by the left, not by the capitalist Republicans. It's run by the left. Hollywood is run by the left.
That's a good point.
And I think
you know what? And you look at musicians, you look at athletes. That's a great point. And there's a percentage, you know, again, there's that money filter though to America. No. The problem is it's like the Italians don't help out the Italians, the blacks don't help out the blacks. Israeli helps out Israel. American Israelis help out Israel. There's a difference there. And that money, like, you know, the Israels help each other financially. They do business with each other. The black community does not do business with each other. The Italians can care less if they do business with an Italian or not. They'll get the lowest price. The Jews don't. They'll get the highest price to make sure that money stays within that Jewish community, especially the Orthodox Jews.
Well.
So again, guys, you know what? There's more to the story, as they say. And you know what? There's envelopes that are being, you know, put in someone's palms before you'll never know it. Because I saw it in business where, you know, you bought from a company and they gave you gifts and money to make sure that you kept buying from them. It happens to this day. It happened. Look at what the Jimmy Demora deals. whether it be politically or whether it be in the business sector, it's still going to happen. And the more money you have, unfortunately, the more money you want. But that's what happens. It's greed. So with that being said, I'm on my patio eating peanut butter and jelly and drinking water because I had last month was bad.
Yeah, we haven't seen you in a while. Everything been all right?
Everything's good. Yeah, business is good. I'm okay. Actually, my wife, as we speak, she's at Cleveland Clinic getting an ablation where they go into your vein and they shock the heart.
Oh.
So.
She all right?
She's okay. Hopefully. She's in operation right now as we speak. So.
Well,
again, it happened. At least we got the Cleveland Clinic here, which is nice.
What caused that? I mean, is there a heart attack or what?
It's an irregular heartbeat.
Okay.
So I guess it's a standard operation. They go in through her vein in her leg, and they go up to the heart, and they burn it or they freeze an area of it. And what happens is there's that part of the heart that is not working properly, and it gets that irregular beat regular again, instead of getting a pacemaker. So this is the start, because she has with high blood pressure, she has low blood pressure.
Okay.
Wow.
So, but she smokes. What the hell? Quit.
Yeah, no, that's what I did. That's what I had to do.
That's the biggest problem. Again, guys, I never smoked cigarettes. Smoked a lot of pot, but I never smoked cigarettes. And who knows how it affected me? My lungs, my brain. It definitely affected the brain. Little short-term memory every once in a while. Other than that,
a friend of ours actually gave me some the other day, and I don't know what to do with it. I haven't smoked in over almost 30 years. I don't know what the hell to do with this stuff. And
guess what? You're going to smoke it, and you're not going to know your name, and you're going to be high until November.
It was a friend of ours too, Tony.
I know the friend. I know the friend.
I'm slightly concerned. I don't know what I'm doing. It's been so long, and maybe it's better than cigarettes, though.
So now what I do is I'm getting it from the dispensaries. Friends, okay. Thanks. And I am giving it to my employees that smoke still, that are in their 30s, 35. But, if you keep, it's like anything else. If you drink and you drink every day, you're okay. You haven't drank for a long time. You take that one shot of tequila.
Yeah.
You're done. You take that one hit of marijuana, especially today's pot. You're high for 9 hours.
That's where we need to do a segment from, is a dispensary.
Guess what? I will do that. Let's make this happen.
Let's do it.
That'd be fun. See what they got going on, and see how much they're charging, and
what
varieties and brands they have out there.
Chris, can you make some phone calls and say that I'm a reporter and see if we can get into it?
Yeah, well, we could go. I know we can go to a place in Bedford. I was just there Saturday.
Oh, on Rockside Road.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've been there. I mean, I've driven by there, and it's amazing. On a Sunday morning, it's like the church. They have the police bringing the people in because the traffic is so crazy.
It's like Slyman's. It's like Slyman's at 11 o'clock. It's just a line of people.
Yes.
But see, I've been told that it's very expensive. I've been told it's very expensive here in Ohio compared to other states.
You know what? And again, it's always less expensive buying it off the streets. The only problem is when we were kids, there was fentanyl. There wasn't fentanyl in it, and barbiturates, and you took those separately.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what I don't like about the dispensaries, though. I don't like that it's still all cash.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I went over there. I was going to buy gummies, and then I was going to, honestly, on Saturday, I was going to do a show, my other show, and I was going to do a gummy an hour to see how loaded I would get.
Oh, yeah.
And, just to be silly. And I went over there, and I didn't have cash on me, so I couldn't get the gummies. And it was a little pricey. It was like $18 for a bag of gummies.
Well, the craziest part, I hear that. I don't know how they're doing this with the federal government anymore, but at one point you couldn't deposit in the banks if you owned a dispensary.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like the same situation here. Where's the money going? They're stockpiling it.
Well,
God bless them.
the thing is that, but let's play it the other way though too. They made the big deal about we couldn't have it because it wouldn't be legal and it would, would lead to corruption, this or that. Then they have all the dispensaries being all cash. What's going to be more corrupted than a business that's all cash? Come on.
And I laugh at, you go to these bars and restaurants and you have the Queen of Hearts, like that large one. It was off of Grayton Road. Remember, Triv used to send me there to go get tickets.
Oh, yeah.
And you had $1 million pots. So now these people that worked there, that were managers and GMs, branched off on their own, and they bought their own bars and restaurants. How the hell did they get that money?
How'd that happen?
Yeah. Come on now.
Yeah,
when it's cash, let me tell you, when there's cash, you're stealing. You know what? And let me just rant here. The greatest part about these restaurants and businesses that do have MasterCard and Visa, not only do they control the inventory of what they have in their stores, but now nobody can steal cash. But on the other hand, they're not taking cash that they can hide it and make more money. Like my brother owned a bar 35 years ago. It was 3 deep on 4 o'clock in the afternoon. People would drink their martinis, and he made a ton of money, and he hid it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, again, guys, who knows? So, anyways, last Saturday I was at Kitchen Social, which is in Pinecrest. They've been around for about 7 years. They're out of Columbus. For those of you who are listening and viewing, you got to check this place out. They have a brunch on Saturday and Sunday. They have a shrimp and grits. They have chicken and waffles. They have just some great things on their menu, and martinis and some mimosas. They have flights of mimosas that are great prices. They also have happy hours, which some days they have it where it's half off the apps. So you got to check them out.
Fantastic, Tony. Well, give the best to your wife from us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank
you, guys. One more thing. So I just read something that in 2040, they are going to try and get most vehicles that are sold on the lot turned into electric, which what's happening right now. They can't even sell these hybrids nor electric. There's another scam. Tell me there's not a little envelope going in someone's pocket with this electric thing.
How's those electric cars doing in Helene affected territories right now?
Yeah.
Wow, great point. And how are they going to do in the hood?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're not going. What are you going to do? Put electrical outlets in the freaking apartments there? It'll never happen.
Never happen.
Those plug things will be ripped off of every single one of those every single night.
And
every night.
And you got to still have to service. It's electric. It's an item that's still. It's like your electric box in your home. It's still going to have to be serviced eventually. So with that being said, who has the largest oil refinery? Is it Venezuela? Is it Saudi Arabia? Or is it P. Diddy?
Thanks, Tony.
I will talk to you next Wednesday.
Appreciate it.
Have a great evening. Tony Musachio. You can tune me in every Saturday morning on Flashpoint 1490 WERE between 10 o'clock and 11. Just Google 1490 WERE, hit listen live, and you'll hear me.
Great.
Have a good one, guys. Nice talking to you.
Take it easy, Tone. There's Tony.
Somebody sent me a meme the other day.
Yeah.
And guess who was inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Who?
Lube Gehrig. And it's a picture of P. Diddy wearing a baseball uniform.
That's funny.
That's hysterical. All right, it's time to wrap things up, and we're going to head over to Minds.
Yes, we are.
MINDS.com.
Check out the Seth Williams Show over there. To everybody else, we appreciate you hanging out. And we'll, God willing, talk to you on Monday. I'm not going to tell you who's going to be on because most likely they'll cancel on us anyways. So have a great rest of the week and a good weekend, and hopefully we'll talk to you then.
See ya.
Seth Williams loves this land, stands tall and proud. Believes in freedom, speaks his mind out loud. Tormented by trip, he learned to be tough. Life knocked him down, but he got back up. Lost a leg, but he's still strong and true. Chasing dreams under skies of red, white, and blue. Voting for Trump, he shouts it clear. WTAM tried to bring him down, but he's still here. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. Hates LeBron James, won't wear that crown. Prefers hard work and blue jeans in this town. Radio waves try to shut him up, but Seth keeps singing, filling that cup. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air.